What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part, I want to say 19 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Lord Skrolk Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, the army of Ian Roxburgh with those plague toads mixed with the plague monk sensor bearers did debut in a nice little battle against a Skull Island. It is obviously not complete, this army, at least until we have brood horror mounts and the toxins that they apply for the Packmasters, but we're getting there. Especially as this army will be heading northward or northeast or somewhere and getting lots of battles. And in addition to that, we have begun the war against the Court of Libaras, taking Teotihuacan away from them, which was a fairly highly leveled settlement as well. And I'm sure the MUTIN will find some proper battles before long. We may want to stop on by and kill off Thorek if we... If we can find him. His, well, let me just see here. He does have an amazing defeat trait, Old Grumslayer, but it's not the best for an all-range army because of the armor-piercing damage that it provides, although the magic item finding is good for pretty much everybody. We'll see. Anyway, in terms of this turn, we probably do still have things to do, as we did not complete the turn last episode, so let's get started. MUTIN. Now, we do want to hit the Cursed Jungle, but the Golden Tower has to take priority because it has a great landmark, which we can actually use, like so. And hello, it's got defenders as well. Maybe these guys will actually fight instead of run away. We'll see. These Tomb Kings certainly have a lot of armies running around, and this is why Khalida is currently the second strength faction in the entire map, which is pretty impressive, you gotta admit. Anyway, Metastone. You're gonna move out, and you're going to try to hit Shattered Stone. Should be able to hit it via the sea. Like so, and there's basically nothing here. This is not worth fighting on resolve. And we'll take it back and we'll give it over to Kugath in a second. Just loot non-compatible, whatever. World's Edge armor, we don't need. Army resettlement receives plague, and you have the plague as well. Now, looks like, yeah, we are debuffed by the Nurgle plagues. Oh, that's unfortunate. I feel like we should be either immune to Nurglite plagues or actually to some degree buffed by Nurglite plagues. A little bit more sort of interplagination, a little bit more sort of reason to be allied with Nurgle rather than our plagues hurting each other. Bit of a shame. I assume we'd at least be immune to an attrition plague, but losing speed on these guys ain't great. And we came to help you too, Nurgle. Come on now. This is why we're gonna steal the Dragonfang and Dragonfang mount from you. Anyway, that's okay. And frankly, I'm surprised that Khalida was able to take anything from Kugath. Look at his army. He's got a pile of exalted plague bearers led by the Festering Stooges, the Bilious Thunderguff, and the Rotting Riders, both fantastic regiments of renown for Nurgle. He has a great unclean one, a couple of plague drones, 2 beasts of Nurgle, and 2 soul grinders, in addition to Kugath himself. So tons of range damage, tons of melee damage, and of course the range damage out of the exalted plague bearers and the plague drones as well. It's a very, very solid endgame stack. I mean, I would be very happy with this as a full game endgame stack for Kugath myself. So the fact that he managed to lose Kafka's main territory is a little bit unfortunate, but I imagine it is at least in part because he's taken a bunch of territory up here and is having a difficult time holding on to all of it. But anyway, Shurft, I do believe you're up next, sir. You were supposed to hunt down Nakai, but you cannot reach him, so we're going to pop you into ambush, and we'll see if we can't catch him. Go right here, got 80% ambush chance. Let's see if he tries to move back down to Shiwu to retake it, and promptly gets killed by us here, if we can make it happen. Who's up next in terms of this turn? Vermich, etc, etc, etc. We have Toxer. You, I believe, have a little tiny rebellion army to kill off. Just thought to resolve it because it's not worth fighting. Please doesn't damage you too much. Really? It takes more than half of the HP off every single unit of Storm Vermin game? What are you talking about? I guess take the... No, still take the money, still take the money. We'll be wanting to recruit a few things for Ricket, and they're gonna get expensive, and we'll just bankrupt ourselves again. And we had just fixed the bankruptcy. Well, we won't be fixing it for long. Channeling doesn't do much for us. I guess we could stay in a camp stance, or we could travel right to the edge of this territory. I mean, we won't heal to full, but we'll heal to nearly full, so it probably won't matter all that much. We might grab Wily Village, and then we'll go past Fucheng and try to hunt down Miao Ying and deal with her. You're not the best kind of army to deal with her, with all of her flyers, since you have no anti-air. But, well, I think we'll be... well, I hope we'll be fine. Actually, the Doom Flayers wouldn't be particularly useful against the Celestial Lions either. It'll be an interesting matchup if nothing else, so away we go. Who is up next over here? Recruiter Klesh, you don't need to do anything. Scout, and nobody else. I guess we're done with this turn. Lovely. Alright, can anybody attack us this turn? I mean, I think there's a few possibilities, but frankly... the AI's been a coward lately, so I'm doubtful of it happening. Damage building here in Shattered Stone Isle. We are not keeping it, so we don't care about it. And end turn. Alright, let's see if anything interesting happens. Let's see if anybody dares to actually attack us. Kugath now wants that military alliance. Yeah, sure, Kugath, why not? We wanted this originally anyway, and we did want more access to your various units. We'll give you back the Shattered Stone Isle. Scrag will at last declare war on us. This was always going to happen. We're not going to bother calling our allies to help because we don't need them, and we also don't want them taking our stuff. Miao Ying, with her piles of Celestial Lions, will take the village of the Tigermen, but we knew that was going to happen. The next territory of Fucheng is going to be a lot more of an issue for her as our new army is moving on in. Hopefully we'll reach it in time before she does. Yeah, obviously it wasn't originally the plan to bypass those territories, which is why we kept them. But we had to rescue Kugath, so gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, oh wow, Clan Angren, that's pretty impressive. They are actually kind of getting close to 8 peaks, though it is owned by Karazakarak right now. I'm not actually sure I've ever seen the AI, when played by Angren, take 8 peaks of you. What do we have here? Control for all provinces, or 50% research rate. I gotta go with the research rate. It's not much, but we do have more tech thieves on the field, and I feel like we should make use of them. Alright, faction destroyed Talaqua. Well done to Kairos. Still doing work. We're still gonna help him out, but good job to Kairos. Settlement lost, village of the Tigermen, we're aware. Ambush foiled the Shurft, Seafarer, Disciplinarian, ready for duty, Troop Ferry. That's a good thing, because we'll be needing to ferry stuff. Ready for duty, Vomik, Master Assassin. He will be leading our Death Runner army. Dominating Scheme, right, expires. Good. And we'll pop that immediately. Food generation, growth control, everything a growing rat needs. And we're still in orange. At least we've escaped the red, but it could change at any point, because we're losing massive amounts every single turn. Metastone, while I have you, go for the Dragon Fang Mount and retake it. And we'll transfer Shattered Stone Isle to Kugath in a second. Oh, is Greasy going to take Shattered Stone now? We shall see. I'll resolve this. Bit of damage. Do we want to sack it? I guess. Alright, and then take it. I am curious to see. Occupy. Don't use food. I'm curious to see whether this is indeed the same. Yeah, it is the same. Yeah, we can make a ton of money on this. Repair the place. We will keep it for ourselves. Don't collect the income for now. We'll build the medicinal plants here, and then the public order building, and then let the place essentially just hang out on its own. Shattered Stone Isle we can, however, trade immediately to Kugath. He has no money to trade. That's a bit of an unfortunate aspect to it. You know, wait, is there anything we could do in terms of war declaration or in terms of betrayals that would be useful to us for this? Doesn't look like it. You know what? Hold on to the Isle for now. We'll probably trade it later. Anyway, Skrolk. Now, there's several things that you would, in theory, technically might want to be doing. So I need to get down here. What are the defenses like here? Kind of garbage. How fast can Icket get down here? What if we send Icket to grab Castle Baston? Maybe that's the way to do it. You know what? Go into channeling Icket. Go here. We'll grab Castle Baston. Maybe... Ooh, hello. We got a garrison here. And no garrison... Ah, it does have a garrison building, though. And a pile of zombies. The other option would be to... Oh, Skrolk can reach it immediately if he wants to. I was actually going to send Skrolk back around to grab Altdorf, because it's one of our... one of the locations we actually have to capture. And there's also Durthu, of course. But you know what? If you can reach Castle Bastan, you can go this way and then just go over the mountains through Carrick-Ziflin. You just have to get here. Alright, that's fine. But we're gonna fight these guys anyway because they hate us, because we're allied with all the Chaos factions. You're currently at war with the Seducers of Slaanesh. We'll talk to the Seducers. Declare war on the Barrow Legion. What about Tor-Elisor? And go for the Defensive Alliance. Alright, what's the likelihood Tor-Elisor could threaten us? I mean, they do have an army over here. They might try to sail towards us. They could try to grab this. We may send a rat army over to them, or maybe even sail somebody through the sea lanes over to them and capture their stuff. That'll work. Alright, do this. Alright, thank you, Nakari, and I also like that because it will give us a vision, which will be potentially helpful to us. Dripping Fangs, Fecondites... I mean, the Fecondites aren't super liked by a bunch of the Slaaneshi factions, including Siggy, but they're also not hated by them. Nakari's not super happy about it. The thing is, Festus can trade as well, so we could potentially get some use out of him. Oh, look at that, Clan Rictus as well. Oh, no. If you're wondering why I said, oh, no... It's a lot. It's a lot. It's going to completely screw our money again. But Tretch, and we did want another Stormvermin army on the field. Well, either way, I think if we do that, we probably do it at the end of the turn. Fecondites will do the non-aggression pact, we'll do some pacts with you. And if anybody hates on us for it, maybe we'll cancel them later, but for now, we'll see. Rictus, we'll hold off on you. Goldtooth, Court of Liparis wants to peace out now. That's obviously not going to happen. Alright, so... where was the fight? There was a fight to be had. This was the fight to be had. The Mutin! Away you go, sir. Go after... what's the likelihood we can draw the garrison out? Oh, we don't need to. It doesn't have a defensive play, so it'll be a field battle anyway. Alright, love me a good field battle. Let's level these guys up and let's head on in. The water's fine. You have Blastmaster and... that, or Warp Smart, rather. And that's the only thing you need. Right? Yeah, I think he has pretty much all the good stuff. Alright, let's get you Power Overload. Let's get you, I guess, Earthing. You know what, let's get Flensing Ruin for this particular fight. You know what, how much mana do you have? Not that much. On the other hand, Flensing Ruin could be potentially useful in this particular situation against the Tomb Kings. Go. Oh. Well, no, we don't really need to level the Plague Priests. The Plague Priests are... I mean, we could level them. And they have all the stuff that they need, like Vermintide, so I'm not... it's not the biggest necessity. Let's get Blessed with Filth, and then we'll max out their magics. You are actually pretty much maxed out in terms of your magics. We could go for Onslaught, but it's not super useful for Mutant's army in particular, so let's get you Wild-Eyed and go through your Fighty tree. These guys can still fight, after all. And... alright, that Dwarfhide banner. Alright, you know what? I've forgotten to do anything but this Dwarfhide banner for so long, I feel like it needs to be worked into the Mutant's lore. Yeah, so... alright, guys, give me a reason that the Mutant carries around a Dwarfhide banner. Something is written on that banner. Maybe the names or the locations of every one of his clones. Something tied into his lore with this Dwarfhide banner. And perhaps why it's a Dwarfhide banner in particular. Yes. Anyway. Alrighty, here we go. Horned Rats will indeed. A pretty massive pile of Tomb Kings stands against us, but this is the Mutin. And, well, even if his army does not survive, there will always be another Mutant clone available to take his place, should it be needed. And, as usual, we begin the battle with our Jezzails and our, not Warp Lightnings, our Plague Claw Catapults annoying the enemy. We've also popped a Pestilent pool. I want to say Pestilent pool, whatever the whatever the ability is called, on top of the single enemy artillery piece, that Screaming Skull Catapult. Gotta get this thing off field so that it cannot fire upon us, as obviously the MUTIN's piles of weapon teams are relatively fragile. Anyway, the Screaming Skull Catapults will melt away under fire, and in the pool, MUTIN is trundling around casting the occasional spell, taking a little tiny bit of damage, but not significant enough to be concerned. After all, the enemy does not have Ushabti with Great Bow in this particular army. It does have those Sepulchral Stalkers that we do have to be wary of. But in terms of range damage from the basic archers, it shouldn't be particularly threatening whatsoever. Alrighty, Jezzails have started to focus down the enemy Tomb King, as well as taking a few shots at those enemy Sepulchral Stalkers there. You gotta try to knock them out as much as possible, as they are threatening units. And quite a good counter unit, I would say, to the type of army that we have. Because of their stalk ability, their massive range damage when they're up close, and the fact that they can fight just fine in melee. If the enemy were to use them to good enough effect, they could have done a massive amount of damage to our army. But obviously, this is the AI, and we can't expect that sort of thing. Gonna pop a Flensing Ruin upgraded on the enemy. Obviously supposed to be used against single entities, but just trying to knock out and do as much damage to those Stalkers as possible. The MUTIN remains in the midst of the foe, and just sort of trundling around and annoying them on the Doom Wheel. They can't stop him after all, as they don't have anything with the mass to keep him in place. And, ooh, looks like a pile of Sepulchral Stalkers does manage to make their way uphill, but get hit with a Warp Fire Thrower and lose almost all of their HP. Same thing is happening over on this side, as more Sepulchral Stalkers move their way in and get hit with Death Globes or Poison Wind Globes and Rattling Gunfire and Warp Fire Throwers as well. Look at that HP drop. Beautiful combined arms sort of thing from MUTIN's army. He's good at that sort of thing. Enemy reinforcements do move onto the screen, or enemy reinforcement does move onto the screen. A single Tomb King, but not to worry, we have one of the Plague Priests over on the right flank ready to deal with it should we need to. That said, it's the center where the enemy is still attempting to reach us, and by the looks of the sheer number of units, they will probably be able to get to us somewhere. Probably not the Nehekara Warriors or the Tomb Kings, or the Tomb Guard, as they're a bit too slow. But they've got Ushabti and more stuff where that came from. One of our single Plague Priests is holding the line in this particular glade here, just repeatedly summoning Plague Monks and such, and holding back the tide of constructs, while we get the occasional shot off from our other weapons crews. The enemy Tomb King has charged on through towards those Poison Wind Globadiers and does manage to kill off a few of them, but has begun to crumble away, and hopefully will be destroyed by the Plague Monk soon enough. Or if not, the Plague Monk will just melt. Ooh, some Sepulchral Stalkers do manage to close the distance, and a Tomb Prince has made his way in, forcing the MUTIN to go into the Rampage due to the Curse of Joff. Gonna have to back off those Warp Fire Throwers. And it does look like the enemy is starting to get closer and closer to our main line. Gotta hold them off as best we can. The Teeth Breakers are in the middle of our formation as well, and they do have a Smoke Bomb available to them should they get charged. Alright, here's another unit of Sepulchral Stalkers. It does look like they want to fire their range shots, or at least were planning to fire their range shots before they got, hit much harder by our range shots instead. One last volley from them and they go down. It looks like our summoned units are still managing to hold the tree line, but it does look like the enemy is finally starting to get through it. Ushabti gets sent flying by that Plague Furnace. And though we still hold the hill, several of our units have certainly started to take damage. We have, for once, been forced to send our Warp Grinders into the fray. Warp Grinders activating their Seismic Snare and Warp Quake to start doing damage to these 3 or 4 units of cavalry and constructs on our flanks until our cooldowns are off and until we can summon more units of Clan Rats. Rattling Guns supporting our Plague Furnace / Plague Monk against the Ushabti here. And it does look like it's going to be a close one, or at the very least a closer one than we perhaps would have seen prior with the MUTIN's army. as he does tend to just obliterate armies before they can really close the distance, but they do manage to do so here. Mutin trying to keep this single Tomb Scorpion distracted, as it does manage to reach our lines and annoy the flamethrowers or warp fire throwers enough to send them scurrying. It does look like the massive pile of units that were fighting so long in the trees have dwindled and are pretty much done, though the left flank fight is still going on, and we may need to use those warp grinders yet again. Looks like Ushabti do manage to charge on through, ignoring our Plague Priest, though the warp fire throwers are still going, and the snipers are trying to get those headshots going on those Ushabti as well. Nice Doom Rocket coming in from our Warlock Engineer in the background, who's still standing around and providing buffs, but it looks like they won't be needed for too much longer, as the balance of power shifts fully in our favor, and the last of the Tomb King army begins to fade away. And this is the dangerous nature of this army when we face off against multiple armies, because we don't actually have a melee line other than the summons available to us. It could potentially go pretty badly. Mutin traps a last couple of units of Necropolis Knights, hits them with that brass orb which sucks them in, and then the warp fire throwers and all of our other units and destroy them for good. One last enemy unit remaining on the field. It looks like there was an enemy lord who did make their reinforcing way onto the map, but apparently got stuck, or at the very least, I'm not entirely sure why, because you can actually, by the looks of it, move in this direction. Unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, you can. So he got stuck, but on nothing. I mean, I guess his direct path was blocked, but the AI should be able to use pathing to some degree, at least. Anyway, with that, the last Tomb King drops, and the battle is ours. A very fun fight, and a heroic victory at that, as obviously the auto-resolve does not, was not looking to be as kind. Hey, a Talisman of Preservation. Not a bad find at all, Mr. Mutin. And... huh. You didn't have a talisman? Huh? That's suspicious. I think he did have it. Okay, I gotta take another look at what he had prior to the battle. It's odd that he had no talisman whatsoever, because I'm pretty sure I attributed a bunch of items to all of our more prominent lords, including the Mutin. Strange. But anyway, a very nice fight, and this is exactly what I was talking about for when we were besieging that garrison a couple of episodes ago. Well, I guess we did the actual battle last episode, but anyway, when we were besieging all of those constructs and elite units in a single location, and these guys came close to overrunning us, and their army was not nearly as elite, so they shouldn't have been cowards. They should have actually tried instead. But here we came out ahead. Anyway, Talisman of Preservation and food will also loot and occupy the place. Well, I guess we can still sack it. Yeah, sack it. Ooh, wait. I don't remember whether Mutin had enough range. I think he did, though. I'm gonna assume that he did. Yeah, he did. He's fine. And you can keep the talisman. Loot and occupy. Alright, thank you. This place might rebel, so we're gonna go into control immediately, or... You know what, now go into expansionist planning. We should reduce the construction time that it takes to, well, get everything going here. We'll do the Rattling Warrens for growth, because it'll only take one turn, and then we'll start leveling those up right after. And hey, there's Thorek. I wonder if he can reach us here from a single round. It looks like he killed off the Bowman of Orion. Interesting. Anyway, that's not our problem either. Anyway. You, Skrolk, you were going to attack this. Frankly, with a good claw there, it's probably not worth our time, but we'll see in a second. I think you'll reinforce to leech a little bit of that XP, though. Actually, wait. What do we have here? Yeah, it's just a pile of zombies. It's not worth fighting. Auto-resolve, wait. I want to see if it can leech without losing his wolf rats. Granted, we don't actually need the wolf rats, and we'll be retrofitting his army very shortly. But nonetheless. Wait, what? Oh, he wasn't in range. My bad. A little bit closer then? What now? Now he's in range, and of course the wolf rats will still die. Well, screw it, I'm gonna let them die. This is just too annoying. It's too annoying. They're gonna get retrofitted anyway, and I can't deal with the... can't deal with that aspect. Stack. Ooh, you're just at the edge of your range, though. Alright, I'm gonna... I can't see Lord Skrolk to target him. Let's give it a try. Alright, Skrolk, that? Okay, good. Alright, artifact, enemy killed in battle, and frankly, he would have been able to reach it anyway, even if I had missed, so we're good. I'll loot and occupy, and we'll trade it away, but we'll build a military structure here as well. I get to go past it. You are going to get your retrofits such as they are, and I suppose... Wait, first of all, let's move the tech thieves out. Hopefully they don't immediately die. Success and failure. Alright, one success, one failure, 1-to-1. Not horrible. We need to get Ikit his army. Do we have a recruiter available? Vomik is not a recruiter. You're not a recruiter, Compule, either. I forget, did we reset you? Frontline right at level 13. Toxa Ring Wrench. Huh. Campaign skills, battle skills 10. I don't think this is one of ours, is it? I don't think so. Recruiter Corpable. You will do. And we may take a look at Toxa Ring Wrench later. Anyway, for Ikit Claw, while we have the reductions via the dominating scheme, now we're going to get him 4 Warplug Jezzails and 4 Rattling Guns. And we need to get him a bunch of Doom Wheels and a couple of Warp Lightning Cannons. Start on the Warp Lightning Cannons. Wait, do we need to switch commandments here?
Let the bell scream, scream.
We can increase the... Oh, we're already increasing the local... No, we're not, because we're not in martial planning. That's fine. It won't be here for a few turns as yet anyway, so that's fine. Now, those are the main things that he needs. He also needs the Doom Wheels, but we can't build them here, so we'll have to build them somewhere else. And of course he'll need more Warlocks as well, maybe another one at least. Armor enhancements, sure. There we go, now we have 2 additional Warlocks, both of which are going to go into this army, and then will be transferred to Ikit right after, together with the current Warlock that he has. Ian Roxborough, you are damaged, sir. Not so damaged that you can't reach this island, but... last time the auto-resolve was saying that you wouldn't be able to. Let's hope that you can auto-resolve this. There's another island out here. But nonetheless, I'd rather not waste his turn. And who knows, maybe we'll find something good like lost cargo. Explore the island, close victory, but at least nobody dies. Let's hope that the auto-resolve doesn't screw us too hard, and fortunately it doesn't seem to screw us too hard. Sell off and eat captives. Sell off, we're about to be recruiting a bunch of stuff because we have to bankrupt ourselves again, guys. Come on, we can't go multiple episodes without bankrupting ourselves. Just not the Skaven way anymore. You need to heal, but you could travel across the sea. Then again, a single turn, and then you'll be able to heal to full. Just go back for a bit. Nivaventer. Okay, 2 things with you. First of all, Dreaded Experimenter. Okay, now I wanted a scabbed, scarred guy, but... Alright, you go into this army. And that, like, halves your movement range, but you're fine for now. The question is... where exactly do we want to send you? Probably want to move here, to be perfectly frank. Yeah, your artillery pieces should be pretty good at fighting the Imperials. Get a nice little artillery shoot at. Yeah, sure, go here. Go here, suffer a little bit of attrition, and if we have to, or if we are able to get a different Plague Priest out there with Scab Scarred, and then we will do so later on. Alright, that's good for you. Vermint, you are good. That's Nivaventer. Pustin the Pugilist, you're going to hit the Galleon's Graveyard and occupy it. Was the Lichbone Pennant for you, so that you can have magical damage, or... yeah, I think it was. And Grand Banner of Clan Superiority, that's going to go under one of our Regiments of Renown. Auto-resolve, and really? Really? This garbage does this much damage? I sincerely doubt that, but anyway. Loot and occupy. And this place can uncollect income and immediately go into exploitative planning for that additional food generation. Lovely. From here... we will summon the regiments of Well, I guess we could do it next turn. You know what? I'm going to forget. I'm going to summon them right now because I'm absolutely going to forget. The Zap Zap is going to Ikit. The Death Runners are going to our new Death Runner army. Council Guard are probably going to go to Tretch Craventail because we're going to send him or confederate him shortly. Wheels of Doom are going to either Ikit or possibly... Maybe to Ikit, maybe to the other Doom Wheel-centric army. I'll think about it. And then the Thing Abomination is going to go to Molder. Yes. Alright, recruit. Expensive, but at least this way I won't forget. And you've got a chieftain chasing you still. Sorry, Trare, I feel bad for you, buddy, but, well, there isn't too much we can do about it. Shurft. You are going to go for Nakai, and... by the looks of it, we can reach him. Unfortunately, we're in short episode time now, and I don't think we're going to have the time to fight him again, so we're going to save this battle for next time. Toxer, let's just move you real quick. Can't reach Wily Village, which means, assuming that we actually, well, actually no, we shouldn't grab it. We should move past it in order to get to Fuheng before Miao Ying does. Anyway, folks, with that, we're out of time, and I'm going to call the episode here. Next time, we'll try to start the episode up by fighting Nakai with Shurft if he does not run. And if he does, well, I'm sure there will be other battles to be had. And namely, we got to reclaim the territories around Kugath's, well, territories, so that he's safe, so that this army can leave, and most likely, we will be confederating Tretch Craventail as well. In fact... I will think about it. I might confederate him between the episodes just so that I can do all the, like, annoying admin aspect of it. Like the building, deleting buildings, moving armies around, shifting items, all that sort of, you know, time-wasting time. If I remember to do it. And if I don't, then we'll just do it next time. So, stay tuned for more rats. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, as it will determine how long this campaign continues to go for. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.